morning, students. So let's look at topic today is strategists and the role in strategic management. So this topic is trying to discuss the various organizational members and what kind of role they play in strategic management. Right? So they are all can be called the strategists. We know that everybody in the organization is not a strategist or a strategic manager or is not involved that much in strategy. There can be some people in the organization, many people in the organization, in fact, who are really involved with the strategic part of the running the organization. Right. So this topic is trying to identify those members and see what kind of role they play in the strategy planning and implementation process. So let's look at uh, the strategists of the organization. So we have identified nine different types of roles and what kind of role they play in the organization as far as strategy is concerned. So first one is the board of directors. So these are the list of strategists in the organization who play some role and quite a bit amount of role in the way the strategy is planned and implemented in the organization. So the first we can identify is the board of directors. The next we can identify is CEO, Chief Executive Officer. The third are the entrepreneurs. This word entrepreneur used in the perspective of not the people who have made the product or anything like that, but they've got a very innovative spirit in the organization. And of course, they are also represent the persons who has really implemented the business and made this business possible by ingenuity and for implementing their business plan and initiating the entire business. It also represents them, but not represents not only them, but people in the organization who are in key spirits and who are able to think in a very innovative and creative manner. The next role that we can identify that is of the senior management. Correct? Senior management. The next fifth role is SBU, level executive, that is strategic business unit level executives, SBU level executives. They also play a very critical role in the organization. Next is the corporate planning staff. Corporate planning staff is the staff which is involved in the head office. The head office, the staff which is present and which directly report to the chief executive officer and other top executives of the company. They have to make reports for them and involved in the planning process, so that the corporate planning staff, head office staff involved in the planning work of the entire group. They also play a very critical role in the organization's strategy process. Next is consultants. They are the external consultants who also play a role in the strategy process. Next, we can identify the middle level managers. So middle level managers also play a very key role, especially in the implementation of the strategy. The last one we can talk in terms of executive assistants, who are basically about the assistants to the top executives like CEO, CFO, CMO, and other CTOs and other kinds of top executives, their assistants. They also play a role. So let's look at each of them and what kind of role they play in the organization as far as strategy is concerned. So first one is board of directors, right? So board of directors, what kind of role do they play in the organization? So we can look at the role of the board of directors is basically they are the directors of the organization, and they have been selected by the shareholders or appointed as directors of the company. They meet once in 3 months, right? So what kind of role do they play? They are the people who are going to set the direction of the company and all its projects and important activities which the organization has to do. Right? So they are the ones who deliberate upon and have meetings. They don't regularly be in the company, but they meet once in 3 months and they discuss the environmental changes which is taking place and what is good for the organization, what kind of activities and works have to be done, and they ensure a good fit of the organization to the environment. And they are, of course, intellectually very capable people who are going to have a good understanding, and they ask the organization to take up key activities, key tasks, and they also help the organization uh, to get new projects, and therefore they support the organization in the various strategic initiatives, and they initiate various strategic aspects also in the organization. So this is the role which the board of directors play from a strategic perspective. Next is the CEOs. The CEO is the chief executive officer and head of the company, right? And he is always present in the company. Therefore, he is the pivotal person around which the entire strategy of the company works. Right? He takes the inputs from various factors, and he's also going to be present in the board of directors, and he's going to get the inputs from the board of directors and he's going to be the key implementer of the strategy of the organization. So he is the key person from around whom the strategy is implemented, and it is going to be taking place. So he is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of the company. So it is around him and through him that the entire strategy of the company is being implemented. And that, so he is the role. He is the person who oversees all the strategic initiatives. He monitors how the strategy is being implemented. He takes regular feedback. All the senior people report to him and tell him about their department's uh, progress in the strategy. Right? So this is the role played by the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Next, there is the entrepreneurs. So they are the entrepreneurs. We can say the person who has made the company, floated the company, and is present in the company. So he would definitely have a good idea of the business model of the company, right? So he is going to play a key role. And there are also, as I told you, there are going to be many people in the organization with that entrepreneurial spirit to keep that to bring about new products in the company, to show the company a new way of doing the things as far as production is concerned or marketing is concerned. So their inputs have to be taken and they have to be used for the implementation, and they have to be used for generating new kinds of and generating new kinds of ideas in the organization and generating new kinds of businesses for the organization, new way of doing the things. They will give suggestions of how to do good cost cutting or to doing things more efficiently. Or they may be able to bring a new business for the company, new business model, like the 3M employees do. Right? So we are the entrepreneurs of the organization and who play a very important role from a strategic perspective. Then you have the senior management. Senior management consists of, other than the CEO, it consists of all the senior people like the CFO, CMO, the general managers, the vice presidents. They would be very much involved in the strategic process. They would be directly reporting to the CEO. They will be taking their departments and their ideas of what the strategy is and how it is being implemented. Some very key initiatives and strategies of the company would be directly under them, and they would supervise it and give feedback to the CEO. That is how the senior management would be involved in the organization for implementing and formulating the strategies. Next, you have the SBU level executives. SBU stands for Strategic Business Units. They represent uh, the parts of the organizations which are different businesses. Some organizations are huge, like say Tata's or HUL, Hindustan Unilever. So they will be having various businesses. Say for Tata's, then maybe their trucks would be under one person. We'll be calling the SBU head, the strategic business unit head. So some organizations will have the structure of SBU, where the entire planning process is done within that SBU, both strategies also. So he is definitely the de facto head of the strategic business unit, right? These level of executives of the SBU level. So they would definitely be involved, just like the CEO is for the entire organization. They will be involved for each of their businesses, what the strategy is, how it is formulated, and how it is being implemented. They would take regular progress of it. Right? So the SBO level executives in that manner play a key role in the implementation of the strategy, and they are definitely one of the strategists of the company. Then you have the aspect of the corporate planning staff. Correct? So the corporate planning staff is involved with the aspect of is involved with the aspect of planning the entire activities for the whole organization. Right? So they are the people who would be doing uh, various research activities, collating the data, scanning the environment. They would be taking up special projects and special uh, aspects. They would be planning for the future. They would be in touch with the consultants, and so they would be doing the entire planning staff planning aspect from a very detailed perspective for all the businesses, because it's a corporate planning. So, that corporate planning department would definitely be involved in the uh, strategies of the company, especially the formulation of the strategies of the company. Then you have the consultants. These are the external consultants, right? They would be involved with the organization to get expert advice. Companies may be employing them. Popular consultants are the BCG, Boston Consulting Group, McKinsey, right? They're the famous ones. Of course, there are so many consultants. Sometimes they can be independent, single consultants. They are experts, and they would be involved with the company for getting some expert advice in their field, maybe quality, maybe supply chain management, maybe logistics. So a real expert advice would be required for the organization in such areas. So external consultants are employed, and they would provide the organization with the required kind of input, the required kind of input for making it proper. They are the consultants of the company. And so they are also external consultants are also the strategic part of the organization, and they will be involved in the organization in that particular aspect. Next, you have the middle level managers. The organization, the middle level managers consists of the just below the general managers. They would be present, and they would be the people who are usually the most involved in the implementation of the activities. So they are the people who are expected to, they are the employees who are expected to understand the strategy very well and take a lead in the implementation of the strategies in the organization. Right? So the middle level managers would be highly involved with the implementation of the strategy in the correct manner. They would give the advice, they would work along with the operators, along with the operational level people, and they would motivate them, and they would show the right way to implement the strategies. That is the role played by the middle level managers. And then you have the executive assistants. Executive assistants, as I told you, represent the personal assistants to the top executives. Like the CEO will have an assistant, the CFO may have an assistant. These are usually people from college, freshers. So they would be directly reporting to them. The good experience for them. The brightest ones are taken for this post, and they will be highly involved with these executives to be able to take good decisions, right? To be able to take good decisions. So they help out in carrying out the research work, organizing the work of the top executive, discussing with him regarding the various meetings that are taking place, providing input, coordinating with the other executives so that for any meetings or for getting the information that is required, working in tandem with the corporate planning staff, getting so much material from them, giving inputs for the strategic initiatives which are required in the organization, collating all the reports so that the progress towards each strategy can be better understood. Right? So these are some of the kinds of roles played by the executive assistants in the strategical implementation of the company. So these are the board of directors, CEOs, entrepreneurs, senior management, SBU level executives, corporate planning staff, consultants, middle level managers, executive assistants can be identified as the roles who play the maximum amount of role in the strategy of the organization.